Hi, my name is Kasia, and this is another episode of Beyond Letters. If you're watching this, it means you are a member of the Just Say It, How to Teach Pronunciation Creatively group, so you are Just Sayers. Time for episode 3 of Beyond Letters. What is Beyond Letters? Beyond Letters is a series only in this group. It's a video plus handout that I publish every week to help you teach pronunciation. So this time I decided to focus on silent letters, so silent sounds. So when I asked you in batch number 1 for words mispronounced by your students, I've noticed that a lot of them are those that have silent letters. So here we have a little handout with 2, 4, 6, 7 words that have some sort of silent letter in them. So we have guide, island, climb, receipt, salmon, debt, and doubt. The first thing that you could do is basically show the students these 7 words and ask them to pronounce them the way they would pronounce them. Then you could ask them the question about finding the common denominator. So are they able to find something that links all of these words together? They might be able to tell you that it's actually a silent letter. If not, then of course, tell them. This handout is divided into 3 parts, which means you can simply give the student the A4 paper without anything, or you can cut it out into 3 pieces and give the students relevant parts when you're discussing them. So after you go over these 7 words and listen to the way they pronounce them, you can now move on to part 2, which is this kind of crossword looking thing. Now, my idea here was to show the students that in some words, there are letters that are not pronounced. Why? Because they are eaten up. That's why we have the fork, that's why we have the knife, and that's why we have this beautiful jaguar here, basically trying to eat all the blue letters. So once you make that clear, have the students try to read the words without that specific sound. So guide, island, climb, receipt, salmon, debt, doubt. If there are any issues, you will have to do some drilling, pair drilling, group drilling, an orchestra activity maybe, create a pattern to make them say it. So if you've read my ebook, in the Just Say It, How to Teach Pronunciation Creatively course, you know what I'm talking about with mini orchestra and orchestra activities. After that, you can move on to part 3, where in this case, we just have 4 sentences. We have 4 sentences that students could read together in pairs or groups, where they have to practice, of course, these words with the silent letters. So we have, I received the receipt for the salmon. I was in doubt about talking to the guide. I was in huge debt, so I escaped to an island. I climbed the tallest tree in the woods. So the students could read the sentences. You could read them together with them. You can do some pair reading, group reading, individual reading. If you have a more advanced group, you could ask them to somehow link the sentences together in order to make a big story. So of course, you're going to have content between the plates, right? Because, well, the idea is it's a plate. The sounds disappear because they are eaten, hence the plate and the fork. So you would have to tell them that they have to make up more sentences between the plates in order to make a full story, or in order to create a 4-course meal with these 4 sentences. You could ask students to take these 7 words and make up different sentences and make up a different story using these 7 words. That would probably have to be homework because, as we know, you have 5 or 10 minutes tops to practice these words. Now, a little recommendation, you might be tempted to give them more words. Like, look, students, we have 7 words here, but there are many more words that have silent letters. I would not go into that. Why? The more you give them, the less they're going to remember, especially if it's the end of the class and you've already covered something else. We don't want to confuse them. I will be creating more handouts with silent letters, no doubt about that. So you don't have to be so detailed right now. I would say these 7 words are enough to help them realize that some letters are not pronounced. And if you have smart students, they might actually see that very often it's the letter B. So thank you very much for watching this episode. Look for the link for the handout, find it, download it, have fun. And of course, let me know in the comments what you did with this handout and whether it worked for you or not. Cheers!